All right. We are live. My camera is really blurry though for some reason. Sorry, I don't know why that's doing that. But yeah, Diego Sanchez is there we go. Is sick in the hospital with the virus. Very sick. He's extremely sick. I'm gonna just start talking because I imagine that this video is going to sit up for a while. So I'll start talking and then I'll come back. So so Diego Sanchez has been hospitalized with the virus. He has pneumonia in his lungs. He has blood clots in his legs. He has not gotten the jab. So yeah, it's a really serious case, and everybody just needs to wish the guy well. I mean, look, like Diego is a dude that has been very resilient physically in his career, and so I like his odds. I like his odds, but it's really scary. He I saw the X-rays of his lungs, and he has like real deal pneumonia and blood clots in his legs. So it's like, man, dude. I just did a video about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go live so that I can actually talk to people. I just did a really long video about the Dustin Poirier and Conor thing that I'm telling you right now, it's one of the best videos I've ever done. It's uploading right now. So you guys should definitely watch that later. I think I'm going to call it the Dustin and Conor blood feud explained. But I did a video about this Diego thing, and man, it just like, it's just a tough situation because he's been so public about his jab status. Like I give him a lot of respect that he just was like, he just came out with it. He's like, look, man, he's like, this is where I'm at. I'm in the hospital. I've got COVID. It's a really serious case. And, like what my problem is, honestly, my main, a few problems, none with Diego, obviously, but I am always shocked by people's inability to display tact and like leave themselves out of shit where they don't belong, like where right now, what are you doing? Get out. Close the door. Oh, well, look at that. Never mind. Don't get out. Bring me this. You guys want to see the most badass coffee cup ever? Look at this. Boom, son. Anyway, but yeah, people's inability to just recognize a situation where it's like, hey, you know what time it is right now? It's not time for your shit, like this is it's just not time for your shit, where we live in this world now where people are constantly looking at real world issues with actual human beings in them, like they're an argument that they're trying to win, like they're an argument they're trying to win. Like that was my biggest beef with how people treated the Rittenhouse case, was like, regardless of which side you're on. I'm not even just talking about, the people on the left that were rooting for him to go to jail for life without even knowing the facts of the case. I'm talking about the other side also, the people on the right, where after Rittenhouse won, they're like sharing memes around of like, Rittenhouse cheersing like Great Gatsby. And I'm like, dude, he's a real person. Like he's an actual person. The shit's not a fucking game, man. Like the shit is not a fucking game for you to win. And like Diego's a real person. He has the virus. He has it bad. He's really, really sick. He got the first thing I commented was because he and I talk on Instagram. Like Diego follows me. I felt like we rap out, and I was like, you should go get the monoclonals, but it looks like he actually already did. And and they made him feel better. But then now he's still rocked, which is actually really scary. I had heard that that they were really effective, and but I also heard that if you get it too late, they're not very effective. Like you really need to get them pretty quick in the process. But yeah, I mean, like the point I'm making is there anything more obvious than that if a guy who you know who he is sick in the hospital with the virus, blood clots, pneumonia, that this probably isn't the time for you to vomit any kind of self-righteous shit about the jab in either direction. You know, like maybe right now is a time for you to say, damn, Diego, I hope you get better. You know, I commented that he's one of the most resilient people that I've ever seen, and I like his odds. And you know, there's a new variant apparently as of like this morning. Like I saw the stock market got kicked in the balls, and I was like, geez, what happened? And I looked, and it's like new variant in South Africa, the mutated spike protein, and I'm like, oh my god, you know, and I don't know, and then hopefully when he comes out of this, he'll have bulletproof immunity. You got to figure that the more sick that you get, the better off you're going to be going forward. And that just feels like common sense. Like the more your body has to fight, the more prepared it'll be next time. And that's about as scientific as I'm going to get talking about immunity to this thing. But the bottom line is this: like, what you should be doing is you should be wishing him well. And by the way, he is active on Instagram right now. Like at least he was last night. And I would highly encourage people to go comment on his posts, you know, maybe not DM him because he might not see it, but like go comment on his posts, you know, wish him well and save your shit in either direction about the jab for later. Like when he recovers, if you want to bring it up in a conversation, that's fine. Like I understand people. So when people are bringing up the jab on his posts, there's one area where I think it's okay, where, you know, if people are like, hey, you know, has he gotten the jab? And then people respond, you know, well, in his case, no, but like, and they respond, that's okay, because it's unreasonable to ask people to not be considering their own level of risk in an environment like this all the time. You know, it's like, that's what, you know, if someone says, hey, you know, I mean, look, it actually, you know what I think about it, depends on what their motivation is. If you're asking, hey, you know, did he take the shot? If you're asking because you're like, you know, like, well, I'm double jabbed. If he's double jabbed and he's having this reaction, I need to know that I'm still at that level of risk. Or, you know, if I haven't gotten the jab and he hasn't gotten the jab, should this push me to go get it? Because this is a new piece of data. He's young, he's healthy. Like maybe this is an incident that's scary enough that I'll go get it. Like if that's why you're asking, that's fine. That's what people should be doing. That's what you should be doing throughout this entire thing is, you know, collecting data that it's going to help you make the decision that you are going to make for yourself. Right. You know, and I mean, because ultimately everyone is making a decision. I know like some people are like, well, there are some places where you're not being given the choice. That's not true, because you can choose to move. You know, I'm not saying that everybody has the ability to do that, but like you do have options. It's just like, it doesn't mean that any, you know, like if your job is in one place and the ability for you to like quit, uproot, and move would come at such a financial burden that it's basically, you know, not possible for you. Well, that it is possible for you. You're just, you know, that's just such an enormous shift in lifestyle that you're not willing to take it, which I totally understand. But everybody is still making choices, is my point. Like you're making choices. And if you're making choices without evaluating the data that's in front of you, whether it be what's the, you know, what's the data say scientifically? What am I seeing with my own eyes? Like, what do I trust this media source? Do I trust this? Is my job mandating it? Is it not mandating it? Like all those things. Then I don't like. Then we are very different people. Like I make decisions based on like I think everything through. And yeah, the soccer players collapsing. I'm trying to stay out of the comments because I really don't want to go down a rabbit hole, which I guarantee any of these will. If you guys like, and I'm not, if you have a question you really want me to answer, super chat it, and I promise I'll answer it. But I'm trying to like stay out of there because with this topic, I mean, I'm happy to answer questions. I just mean if I start looking over here, I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole for sure. But I'm willing to go down a rabbit hole if you pay for it, and I have to look at it because I won't be able to help it. But yeah, like the soccer players collapsing, that shit is super fucking scary, dude. Like that, and that's the thing. Like, that's the kind of thing that some people know about and other people don't. And I just, when you get into an environment where people can't have rational conversations, it is very hard to know what's what, like the soccer player thing is 100% real. They've had in 2021, a 500% increase in players in like just collapsing with heart attacks. That's just that's a data point you can look up. 500% increase, not 20%, 500%. And so it's like, and these are obviously tip-top shape health people. And, for me personally, the reason why that particular data point is interesting is because why like, this is how I think, right? Why soccer? Okay. Like, why soccer? And the answer is probably not going to be what you would initially think. But if you watch all my channels, then you will not be surprised by my answer, right? Why soccer? Okay. The answer to me, or at least one that I'm speculating on, is where do people play soccer? Right? Other countries. Okay. And so the media sources that are going to report facts and data that people should know about that might challenge, what certain mainstream outlets want you to think and feel, might be international. And so what I think is like, is this happening here in other sports and we aren't hearing about it? Like, is that possible that like that kind of story is not being shared here? Because it's very crystal clear that that's happening in Europe. Like, you can watch the videos on YouTube. It's super fucking scary, man. That doesn't even, and it doesn't even necessarily mean like I haven't seen any studies about, those players, status with anything. That's the thing is like like when people see that data point, they automatically jump to like, oh, well, what's different? It must be the jab. And I'm saying like, okay, well, that's not an unreasonable thing to hypothesize around, but like, where is a study that is talking about because maybe what if you found out that every single one of those people had recovered from the virus? Like, we just don't know. We have no, like, so, oh, well, what they all have in common is every single one of them had the virus and recovered. Okay. That would certainly shift your like causality for what's happening, right? You're like, whoa, maybe you get better from this thing and it still can fucking light your heart up later. Like, we just don't know. Everyone is jamming data through the keyhole that they're already looking through. It's like, I'm like I've said a million times, I'm very not good at a lot of things, but one thing I am good at is just knowing when I don't know shit. Like, just being willing to, matter of fact, the very first video that I did on Jesse on everything, First one, Jesse on Everything, my other channel, the very first video that I did was about your ability to know how smart a person is based on their ability to accept that they don't know answers to things. Like the more certainty that a person talks with across a bunch of topics where it's crystal clear that they have absolutely no background to know with certainty what they're talking about, other than they watched it on and, oh, I saw that on this or I saw that on that. And then they're talking with, like, that's what a stupid person does. Like a stupid person talks with certainty across every single topic. Like, so, I guess in this case, I am calling myself a smart person, but only in the fact that I can accept that there's a lot of shit I don't know. And when it comes to the soccer players collapsing, there's a ton of shit I don't know. Yeah, it's live. We're live. There's a ton of shit. I mean, plans like no one even knows what their jab status is. But I mean, look, dude, if like we all know that Diego was a pretty big advocate on the other side, like he's not getting it. And not only is he not getting it, but I would even say that, anyway, he didn't get it. And so if you're not getting it or haven't gotten it and looking at a 38-year-old healthy professional athlete this rocked by COVID, if that doesn't get your brain moving a little bit, then we're watching different movies, man. And it doesn't mean there's a correct answer. That's the whole thing. That's kind of like, that's my entire point, is like the people in the comments that were using that situation. A guy posts, damn guys, this thing is a monster. Now I have pneumonia in my lungs and I have blood clots in my legs. And someone's like, well, this seems like a good time to point out that he didn't get the jab and shame people that haven't got it. Hey, this is what happens when you don't get the jab. It's like, dude, fuck you, guy. Okay. You know what I mean? It's like, maybe this isn't about you, And what's hilarious about that, what's actually really hilarious about that, so what I was just saying about like people unable to say I don't know about things, is a person who does that, like a person who goes on Diego's post, right? A person who goes on Diego's post and uses that moment to shame people that haven't made the same choice as them. I know that guy's opinion on fucking everything. I don't need to ask him a single question. Like, you said that, I already know what you think about the Rittenhouse trial. I already know what you think about climate change. I already know what you think about whether critical race theory is I know every opinion you have just from your 4-word or 2-sentence comment. I would be so fucking embarrassed if I was that predictable. If my thought process was so unoriginal that people just knew everything I thought about everything. There's no one who could possibly know my opinions, because my opinions are malleable. Ryan Gordon, thank you very much. Finally, someone to listen to thinks like me, sees beyond what's in front of you, reasoning from a third person point of view rather than just first person. Yeah, I mean, thank you. And it's like, there's just a lot of things in play here. It's like there's a lot of things in play. It's like self-preservation is the number one instinct that humans have. The number one. Okay. Now I realize that you can, people can throw like a suicide stat at me, but those are even with high number, like seeing that's still an anomaly. Like people who do that, where you can rely on people's instinct for self-preservation enough that it actually keeps order in the world, and has since the 50s. Okay. Like we used to human beings used to constantly declare war on each other, and millions of people would get killed, like just bombing other cities, shooting each other, like just utter chaos and terror. And you still see that in lots of countries, just not the ones that have nukes. The ones that have nukes, none. No one invades those countries. And you know why? Is because the threat of a nuke coming back at the country that attacked them, it hits that self-preservation instinct. And so people are like, well, we're not going to fuck with them. Like in terms of a country's ability to defend themselves, when you have the strongest military in the world, that puts you in a great position to dominate other countries that don't have nukes. But as soon as a country has nukes, they're in this completely different category. They're in a completely different category. You're not going to attack them because people's self-preservation instinct is so strong. Rock, thank you very much, sir. And Ian Marr, thank you very much. And so the point that I'm making is that instinct can be relied on all the time. And so in an environment like this, where there's so much information, like everyone, if you're making decisions in the correct way relating to anything relating to the virus or any other thing, that should be your only consideration. Like there shouldn't be anything else in your mind other than self-preservation and protecting your family. If you're a person that's apprehensive about taking the jab, your reasoning should be that you have considered, and I'm not validating any information sources on either side, but I'm just saying your thought process should be, I believe the risk is higher from the jab than from the virus. Like that should, like it's a simple mathematical equation for everyone. And on the jab side, obviously it's the reverse. I think that I'm going to be safer and less likely to have a serious case or die if I get the jab. Like it's literally that simple. That's the only thing that should matter. Because especially now, if in this argument, like, no, you need to do it to protect other people. Okay, well, like I can, and again, I'm not even talking about data. I can tell you that that's just not an accurate statement anymore. Like my family, or my mom's best friend in the Bay Area, all fully up, fully jabbed, like recent, all like totally up to speed on the jabs. Their kid got it, and all 5 other people in the family got it. 5 for 5. Okay. 5 for 5. Now, none of them had a serious case, like where they had to go to the hospital or anything like that, but all 5 of them got it. 5 for 5. Okay. So this is a real world example, right? So when I hear that, and that's just the kind of thing that makes me question certain data points, where it's like, okay, so, but again, I'm not in a position to question anything. I'm just talking about like for myself, right? Like, so myself. So I look at a study and they go, oh, well, you're less likely to contract it if you get the jab, right? Like so that's, you're like, okay, so this study says I'm less likely to contract it if I get the jab. I could say absolutely. And this is from the studies and from, I know a lot of people that have gotten it. Okay. And now, including Diego, this is the 3rd or 4th person that I know that got hospitalized, and none of them had the jab. And I don't know a single person, not one, that has the jab and has gotten hospitalized. But I know, like when it comes, this is just in my personal circle, there is no difference in terms of how many people have gotten it versus not gotten it between the two groups. None. Like they're like none. That's why I find it, for me, I like, just in my decision process, I wouldn't factor in like limiting my ability to contract it in my decision. Limiting my ability to, or my likelihood of ending up in the hospital, certainly, just because of, what I've seen. But again, this is all a bunch of nonsense leading towards, if you're making decisions because you're on a specific team, like you're like, well, my team's not doing it, or my team's doing it. That's so fucking stupid. It's unbelievable. That's fucking embarrassing. You should never admit that to anyone. Like, seriously, like, don't ever admit that to anyone. It's way too serious. Like, there aren't very many decisions that a person needs to make that really matter. This one might really fucking matter in either direction. I don't have any advice. That's the point. I have no fucking advice. I do not have advice. I'm not in a position to give anyone advice. I'm talking about people who think they are. That's really my point. Is like these people who go into a onto an Instagram thing and they start spouting off, like someone talked about the soccer players collapsing. It's, that's what I'm saying. It's in both directions, right? Like of course, everyone, they want to come in and they're like, hey, well, you decided not to trust Moderna. Look at what happened to you. And you're like, are you fucking serious, dude? Are you fucking serious? How about you save that for when he's not in the hospital, you fucking self-righteous prick? I actually called the guy a self-righteous prick I said, delete this. I said, I can't remember my first sentence, but I know that my ending was, delete this, you selfish, self-righteous prick. it was like a bit like Business Journal or something, but not the big one. And then, but then on the other side, people are posting about, like someone said, like they're arguing, like someone posts, hey, you should do the thing. And then people start arguing back at them about why they shouldn't, data, why they shouldn't get it. I'm like, dude, guys, this is not the place for that. Like, this is where you say, get better, Diego. And nonetheless, you like, even the things you're posting lack context. Everything lacks context. If anybody thinks that they are like super bulletproof, that they know, especially, it's not just about like, it's not just about what's my risk, what's this risk, like, and looking at the data sources, all that. What it's really like, what it's also about, which is almost more important, is where did this information come from, right? So I'm reading about this. I'm reading about this in an outlet that, you go research the outlet. Is this credible? Okay, yeah, it looks like they're credible. But where did they get this information from? And then you backtrack it. And it's like, okay, so this came from this study, or this came from this company, or this came from whatever. And then you go, okay, so can I trust this group of people that are responsible for putting this information out? And there are things that will disqualify you from credibility for me. And like, as an example, if you are mandating or recommending that children under a certain age get it, you have lost that. You have no credibility with me now. None. Like, your credibility is shot. You can't talk to me about this topic anymore. Gavin Newsom mandating it for kids, because the studies on that are crystal clear. You're 6 times more likely to have to give a boy between, I believe, like 9 and 16. You're 6 times more likely to give them myocarditis, which is heart inflammation, than they are likely of having a serious case of the virus. Crystal clear. That's the data. Okay. It's the data. No one's even arguing it. They're not even arguing it on the pharmaceutical side. They're not arguing that data. And so if you're a person who is like, yeah, well, we should still do it, I'm like, well, guess what? So how I was talking about the way I'm making decisions is based on risk. Like, so I'm weighing out my risks. You have just shown that your ability to do the equations that matter when it comes to this decision are wrong. Like, that's the wrong answer. Like, that's just the fucking wrong answer. And so if you're supporting that, and if you're passionately supporting it, then now I really know you're not credible. And so I have to go back to, what else did you say? And I don't trust any of that either. That's the problem, is like, you don't know, like, where's the good information and where's the bad information? Because with me, like, if you're dating some new girl, you guys have been together for 6 months, and you're like, man, like, this girl's great, this girl's great. And then on the 5th day, or the 5th month you guys are together, you go on her phone and it's like, yeah, I saw my ex-boyfriend last week and I blew him. you're like, well, I guess next time she tells me she's going out with her girlfriends, should I believe her or not? Because she poisoned the well, dude. You got to cut that loose. You know, like you got to cut that loose. And so if someone has very clearly made either a corrupt or just fundamentally incorrect assessment, they're not a good source of information for you anymore. It's just that simple. I mean, it's, and when I mean, like this thing about the FDA and the research data. I mean, that story, I cannot believe that this story is not getting more attention. So the FDA, so all these people were requesting the underlying data for for the science around the jab and stuff that the FDA used or whatever. And the FDA went to whatever governing body they would go to this for, and they asked for the underlying data, scientific data that they used to be blocked and classified for 55 years. Anyone look this up, look it up. This is like from last week, like where no one will, no like independent people will be able to study the data that they used for 55 years. Look it up. It's like, what? Like, how could you hear a thing how could you hear a thing like that and go, oh, okay, well, that seems reasonable. That's like the same girl. So let's say you didn't see the text message. Like that's literally like she came home. She's like, yeah, I'm going out with the girls. And then she came home. She's deleted every single thing in her phone. And she's got like, a thing that looks like a mayonnaise stain all down her dress. And her hair is frazzled. You're like, oh, what'd you do last night? She's like, what? You're like, what'd you do? She's like, went out with the girls. You're like, why is your phone deleted top to bottom and it looks like you spilled mayonnaise all over your shirt? What? Well, like, what were you doing? It's weird. Like, usually mayonnaise comes out of shirts. Like, I can't get this thing out. This stain is immovable. I've seen a stain like this before, but I guess it couldn't be that because you wouldn't do that, right? But you deleted everything in your phone. So why'd you do that? Why'd you delete everything in your phone? Does it have anything to do with the mayonnaise stain on your fucking shirt? No. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go get your phone unlocked. Like, let's go to the phone company. Let's get your phone unlocked so we can see what was in it, before it got deleted. Actually, I just requested that my phone data get deleted or get locked for 55 years. Just enough time for you to live your life and then die. 55 years. So you'll never know what I was doing last night. And that is a mayonnaise stain. Like, that is mayonnaise on my shirt. Fucking ridiculous. I don't know. But I don't know, man. I hope Diego gets better. I think that people who are who see this kind of thing as like a moment to grandstand and win arguments are literally like the worst. Just the worst kind of people, man. The worst. And they just don't realize it. That's like, it's one of those things that, like, if I tried to explain it to them, they still wouldn't understand. Like, they really wouldn't understand. I'd be like, okay, listen to what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. Cause here's the thing. One of my major, like guiding principles that I believe, makes the world run, or what's a better way to explain this? Okay. So everything that we see, everything that we do, everything around us is the result of human beings making decisions. Like, humans make decisions, things happen, right? And technology compounds on itself. The way we govern ourselves just compounds on itself. But all of it, every single bit of it, is just the culmination of humans making decisions. And one of the things that I believe to be true is that 99.99999% of people, more even, they have to tell themselves if they're doing something that's going to affect a lot of people, they have to tell themselves that they're doing it for a good reason. I mean, there are, or like that there's some kind of benevolent reason that they're doing it. Now, there are some people that are just sociopaths, of course, like where it's like, wait, so you're sure you want to, like, yeah, I mean, you're going to make $20 million, but you're going to literally blah, 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 right? And they just straight up don't care. That's non-existent to them. I read a book called The Sociopath Next Door, which is all about how sociopathy works and how their brains actually work. I'll talk about that in a second. Actually, it's really interesting. But the majority of people, especially the people who are in a position to actually really affect global change, are not sociopaths, because what they actually are is they're a group of elite people that work together who control the major cogs of society that make things run. The social media people, the software people, the giants that mine the minerals and raw materials that literally run our society. Like all these people, they do these conferences and they talk about what they want the world to be, the Bilderberg Group and these other this isn't even secret. It's not secret. They go and they meet and what do you think they talk about? Like they talk about, what are we going to do here? I mean, a part of it, of course, is how they can financially benefit, but it's also, they come together and they talk about like, what's the future of the world? We're the ones that are going to dictate it. And I really believe that some of them are, of course, I mean, all of them are ruthless capitalists, obviously. That's how they get to the place they're at. And so there's always going to be underlying, even though they tell themselves they're doing something good, this underlying like capitalistic driver that a lot of them are a black hole. They could literally, like, you could be like, dude, there's only 5 trillion total dollars and you have 4.5 trillion of them. Like, can you be done now? And like, they're like a broken automatron. Like they literally, like, they're like, no, I'm not done. I need to get the other 500 billion. Otherwise, I don't know what else to do. I only know how to collect more money. It's the only thing that's my driver. So that is a fundamental personality type, very common in those groups, but they also still tell themselves they're doing something good. And so I always try, like when I'm looking at these things and I'm trying to like figure out, okay, so if this is what they're doing, what could they be telling themselves that fills the we're doing the right thing here thing, And a lot of them suffer from this other personality ailment, which is that like they think of regular people as like inferior like beings that need to be taken care of. In some cases, that's actually not inaccurate. But in this case, I'm like, okay, does this have to do with the environment? Like, is there something that they know about the environment? And so they're trying to get us to all stay in our homes so that we change the way that we live. I feel a very, very, very strong, instinct that there's a big agenda to make us have less kids, procreate less, and you can see that from the types of propaganda that comes out about the nuclear family. It's like, what benefit is that? It's like, well, if population's out of control, we can get people to stop having babies. But also you have this upcoming automation revolution that's going to put half the world out of work. And you're like, so what do you do? And if you're these people, they think they have to solve this problem, right? Like they actually think that they're responsible for solving this. And maybe they do. But the thing is, like, no matter what they say, we'll always be suspicious of them, like accurately, as you should be. But when it comes to stuff like this, because of your natural suspicious nature of a small group that's controlling so much, maybe you find yourself in a position where you're overly suspicious and you make the wrong decision because you're like, I don't trust them. And if they're telling me to do this, I'm going to do the opposite. And then that ends up being this thing that drives your decision process where you're like, sometimes you just need to like stop thinking about this shit. You know what I mean? Like, just look at what's right in front of you. But I can't, it's that shit. It's impossible for me to do. Like, I don't know how to set all that stuff down, because I'm constantly thinking about, like, what do they want and why? And I don't, and the thing is, I don't even know for sure. Like, I never even know. I feel confident a lot of the time, but like, when it comes to like an action I need to take, or I need to take for my family, it makes it hard. And so, back to the original point I was making about the kids, oh, well, you need to vaccinate, like, you need to get the shots for your kids. And it's like, well, I know where that's coming from. That's coming from them. And that's not coming from the ooh, I want to help people part. That's coming from the ruthless capitalist part. And while not in that group myself, if circumstances had put me in that group, I mean, like, this is not challenging for me to triangulate how I would approach this type of thing. And it would be very, very simple. There's not a lot of people that you need to get in your corner to implement draconian laws. Like, if you get a governor that has a lot of support to support a certain direction, and then a handful of powerful state senators, you can lock down an entire state with a handful of people. And if you control the amount of liquidity that these people do, I mean, it's unbelievable how easy this would be, and probably not even necessarily illegal, even though it should be. I don't care what, I mean, look, like, and I'll be honest with you, there, like, if I really put myself in the position of like a governor, right? It's amazing what you can convince yourself of when given a large financial incentive. So what I was saying, you got to tell yourself you're doing something good. Like, if a global health leader comes to you and they go, look, what we need to do is going to be sweeping. If we really want to do this right, we are going to have to we're going to have to do sweeping change, and we're going to need your support. We're going to need your support in a way that's going to be uncomfortable. But I want you to know that we're going to support you. We're going to support you in your campaign. And we've actually set up this fund over here where we are, incentivizing certain types of influencers, in the public sphere and in the political sphere, where they can benefit in relation to their impact on what we're trying to do. And then you have me, the governor, set up, some shell company, and I get, stock in Moderna or whatever it is, to where my financial upside is fucking enormous. And I can tell myself, this is a good thing, dude. Like, we're saving lives, and I'm getting rich. Like, look at what I'm doing. Like, I'm saving so many lives, and I'm making so much fucking money. It's unbelievable. And so you start there. And then, right? So you got your stock in Moderna. Moderna went from 7 billion to 180 billion, right? Like, you were given 10 million in stock. Now it's 100 million in stock. And you're like, or fuck, 200 million, whatever, some enormous fucking block of stock. You're married to the agenda now. You're fucking married to it. So then when they come and they go, okay, so now what we need you to do is we need you to go ahead and mandate it for kids. And you're like, okay. And then, study comes out. It's like, well, kids are 6 times more likely to get myocarditis than have a serious case of the virus. And these people, they put you in business, right? And they're like, don't listen. It's important for the broader agenda. I mean, yeah, there are going to be a small number of complications, but it's important for the broader agenda that we roll this out. It's part of a larger solution for future pandemics, And you're like you're in a tough spot. Now, me personally, I would have a pretty big problem with that. I'll tell you the thing that I would never do. I don't care if I took the money in the beginning or not. I would never, ever, ever fire people who decided not to get it, especially not healthcare workers. Never. And when the whole thing was happening with Cuomo, where he got Gus Fring, thank you very much. When Cuomo got ousted, right? Like very, very clearly, like, it's, when all of a sudden you have a person who's a star in the media, which is always on one side of the aisle. That's just true, right? You got a huge star, man, like a huge star. This is the leader of leaders. And then all of a sudden on a dime, it's like, this dude is the worst. He did blah, blah, blah. You always know something changed behind the scenes. Like that, those kinds of, like, this is the thing, those kinds of things do not happen without these people. Okay. If you're in that protected class, if you're Andrew Cuomo, like, you don't go from, I'm the king of the response and I'm writing a book, Base Apollo, thank you very much, I'm the king of the response, to, oh my gosh, I have to resign, without something big happening behind the scenes. Okay. Because here's the thing, when you go, no, it's not that, it's that he harassed a dozen women. Okay. So here's what I want you guys to understand. So when you think about when that side attacks people, right? Like when someone gets attacked, whether it be a Supreme Court justice, go all the way back to Clarence Thomas or Brett Kavanaugh or Andrew Cuomo or any of these people. Okay. Do you think that it's a coincidence that it's always the harassment thing? Like, do you think that's a coincidence? Because here's the thing, all of these guys are sleazebag, aggressive woman chasers. All of them. Bill Clinton, dude, are you serious? Like, Bill Clinton got caught. Like, he got caught because his one of his side pieces blabbermouthed to the wrong girl. Okay. Like, that was an outlier case. That wasn't one of those like, oh, they're all coming out of the woodwork. They just keep on coming out of the woodwork. When they're coming out of the woodwork, you can pretty much bet that there are powerful forces that are, I'm not saying that they didn't do it. I'm not saying that they're completely fabricated. I'm saying there's someone going out and finding them and being like, we're doing this. And it's generally a political opponent or one of these people that wants to get that person out. And you want to know why they do the harassment thing? Because it's really fucking simple. It's because they do not want to jump into any kind of financial things, for the exact reason that I laid out. Okay. If you really believe that Bill de Blasio has no financial upside in the global rollout, you're out of your fucking mind. I would literally put my hand on the table like the Yakuza and let you chop one of my fingers off if I'm wrong about that. Okay. Gavin Newsom, same thing. These guys are for sure, at least in my opinion, for sure, financially incentivized through the jab rollout. It's just, you're not going to convince me otherwise. Gus Fring, thank you very much. Did Fabio do a dim mark on Diego? Nope, he didn't. And so it's like with Cuomo, you have one of two things, right? He is the nursing home thing where he parked all these all these people that had COVID in the old folks' homes, and it led to 10 to 15, 20,000 deaths, right? And you're like, why would he do that? Why would he put them in nursing homes? Now, of course, maybe that's just a place where there are a bunch of open beds. But, Have you guys ever seen the movie I Care a Lot on Netflix? It's an exceptional movie. But that movie covers pretty well how corrupt those facilities are, like how dirty some of the people that run those things are. And whenever you see like, oh, this is free, like this is something that's happening that's free. So like a person's getting quarantined for free, oh, you're getting the jab for free. Shit ain't free, dude. It's never free. That's just 100% not accurate. It's not free. It's not free at all. It means the taxpayers are paying it instead of you, which, well, you're paying your taxes. Taxpayers are paying for that. Okay. Every jab that gets doled out, shit's not free. Taxpayers are paying it. Okay. So the pharmaceutical companies are making that's why Moderna went from 7 billion to 180 billion. Okay. Like they're making their money. It's just not coming from individuals. And the old folks' homes, when you quarantine people, someone's getting paid, dude. Okay. Like the nursing homes aren't doing that shit for free. It's just the state government is paying them. Now, when a governor makes a decision like that, that just defies all logic, you're going to put COVID patients in with old people, like who are the most vulnerable. And I mean, I know it was kind of early on, but still, like that common sense, dude. Like, and I think we even knew that elderly were more vulnerable. He put them in old folks' homes and just killed everybody. Why would he do that? You know, why would he do that? So, because he makes a decision like that, what it actually, he's the governor. He is in control of where the state funds get allocated. Okay. So, you know, if you were in that position, right? If you were about to allocate some enormous amount of money to quarantining patients, you're in charge of that. And you've been the governor for a long time. You have relationships all over the state. And you could very easily, you know, make it, you know, do it with a private organization who gives you a kickback on every single one of the people that gets quarantined. Are you going to do that? Because I would, you know, I mean, I'm just being honest. You put me in a position of power like that, and you let that like sink in, like the way my brain works, I'm not, I know who I am. Like, I know exactly who I am. And if someone was like, are you a good person? I would be like, I try to be a good person, but I know where I have very, very, very bad instincts. And that is one of those things where, I mean, if I figure out a way where I'm getting a kickback on every single one of them, you bet your fucking life I would have done it, you know? And so there's a possibility that someone uncovered that he did that, had some kind of financial upside in it, and they're like, you got to go, dude. You know, like this is too much. Like, you cause all these, if this ever gets uncovered, blah, 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 you know, because if the, you know, bigger people found out, it's possible that even one of these people is actually just a good person. And they were like, that's unacceptable. He's got to go. But nonetheless, they are not going to open the door to corruption in the Democratic Party. They're not going to do that. Okay. Even if that's why he's actually getting ousted, they're not opening the door to some huge, enormous financial crime, especially if it's a person who is seen as a leader in the response to the virus, and everything they're focused on is all about trusting the institutions as it relates to the virus. They're not going to do that. Like, they're not going to be like, well, trust the institutions, just forget about the fact that this is the biggest scandal of all time. This guy's going to jail forever, and he also stole $40 million. Like, just forget about that. Like, they would not do it. They would find another way to get him out. You know what I mean? And so that's possible, right? But you know what else is possible? It's possible that Cuomo was like, yeah, I hear what you guys are saying, but I'm not firing 70,000 healthcare workers. I'm not doing that. Like, if they don't want to get it, they don't have to get it. That's a line I won't cross. Like, I know I made this deal with you guys, but I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do it. Maybe that too. All of this is total speculation. I have no idea if any of it's accurate. This is just how my brain works. I understand people. I understand the positions they're in. And it's like, okay, so maybe this, maybe that. Or maybe he just harassed a bunch of women. Maybe. And maybe that DA that now is going to, or the district attorney or attorney general, who's now going to run for the governor of New York, she made her move, right? Maybe that. But yeah, I should have known that if I did a video about this, that this is where this would go. But anyway, all I know is I don't know anything. And I really hope the Diego gets better. It would actually make me ill, like sick. Like if I really hope he gets better. I think he will. I mean, like early before I went off on that tangent, I was talking about, I know multiple people who have gotten to this point, and they recovered. Like, I'm trying to think if it's 3 or 4. Like, I don't know. Diego's definitely the youngest and the healthiest, though, for sure. And but the other two who were, I mean, one of them is a very well-known person that I wouldn't blow up. but a big name in the MMA community that, but like, you know, a coach, you know, like, it's just not my place. But he's a little bit old. He's not like old, but he's a little bit older, you know. The other guy was 48, you know, like kind of overweight, not like Diego's the first one that's like straight up, you're like, what? Like Diego's younger than me, right? I think he is. He's in good shape. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. No, not Nick Six. No. No, Nick's this. I said this guy's older. Nick Six younger than me. I'm almost positive. I think Nick Six like 36 or something. Let me check. I don't know. Actually, let's do this. Eric Nixick birthday. He's such a badass dude. Wait, his birthday is the 21st. Is that right? Oh no, someone. Oh no, Vinny. MMA's birthday is the 21st. There's a lot of birthdays right around mine. Oh wait, never mind. That was, I don't know, whatever. But my birthday is November 23rd. My business partner, who's a Navy SEAL, his is the 22nd. There are a lot of people like in this general vicinity that are cool. But yeah, dude. I just hate seeing like there are just certain things that really, really deeply rub me wrong. And one of those things is people rooting for bad outcomes for people in general, but especially if the reason they're rooting for that is just to validate some stupid, like meaningless political argument that they get in online. You know? Jeff, no, it's not inappropriate. He's not. And that's actually kind of the point I was making earlier. Like, well, I probably was talking about, fuck, I've been on here for an hour. I was probably making that point like 45 minutes ago. But basically, no, he's not. And what I was saying was that people going on to his posts and then asking, you know, did he get the jab? And then people responding, yes, no, that's fine. Because it's a completely reasonable thing to want to know what your own, you know, to weigh your own risk against. You see someone who's in the hospital, someone young like that, who's got pneumonia, blood clots. Of course, you want to know if he's gotten the jab because you want to weigh your own risk. If you're jabbed, then you know it's possible that could happen to you. If he's not jabbed, then, you know, you're like, either I'm glad I got jabbed, or if you're not, you're like, Jesus, maybe I should actually go get it. You know, I mean, like, this pretty straightforward. And that's fine. But like but that's the extent of acceptable talk about his jab status on a post that he makes about having, you know, pneumonia and blood clots. Like, that's it. Like, is he? Yes, no, that's it. Right? Like, it's not the time for fucking grandstanding and acting like he's like a data point in an argument you're trying to win with a bunch of fucking strangers. It's just like, it's like one of the most infuriating things to me ever. Like, I don't generally call people names in the comments. Like, I'll get mad at people sometimes, but I don't just directly call them names. And I called some people names in the comments last night. Shotgun Yoda, thank you very much. That's a fucking great name, by the way. Shotgun Yoda. Do I think that Ghislaine Maxwell trial will uncover anything, or will this slowly fade away? No way. I do not believe that anything new will come out. There's like the people that would get exposed are literally the most powerful people in the world. Like there's no book they can't close. Drew Thornburg, my email is realjesseonfire@gmail.com. So yeah, no, I don't think anything will get exposed. I have a very different I have a different outlook on that entire thing. Like I think I would say I used to say I was more inclined to believe that Epstein's alive. Now I would say it's 50-50 he's alive. And only because I just saw this new, and I'll tell you why, I'll tell you exactly why. I don't think there's any question at this point, or if there are questions, there shouldn't be, that the business he was in was, by the way, if you guys don't watch Jesse on Everything, if you were ever curious what my other channel is, it's this. Like this is a Jesse on Everything video, what you're watching. But with Jeffrey Epstein, it is crystal clear. His business was getting leverage against the most powerful people in the world. Okay. And you think about it like this. So when you get to that level, like these people that we were talking about, the most elite groups in the world, what their desire, what their incentive structure is built around is control and getting people in different areas to do what they want, right? Like they want this person to implement this. They want this person to approve this. They want this person to award this. They want this person, whatever. Okay. And these people have the main way that they incentivize people to do it is with money. They have unlimited money. They can incentivize people with money. The problem for them is that sometimes there are people who have so much money that you can't incentivize them with money, or, for whatever reason, there's another reason you can't incentivize them with money. Okay. And so what is more valuable? What's more valuable than money in this situation? Okay. Because what is money in this equation? What is the money? Okay. The money is control. The money is the ability to control people. Okay. So what is more incentivizing than money? Okay. We talked about this earlier too. What's the strongest instinct that all humans have? Self-preservation. Okay. Self-preservation. And so a thing that's more powerful than money, because a person can still say no to money, is a threat that is so enormous that a person will do whatever they have to avoid that outcome. So Jeffrey Epstein collected information on people that would be so catastrophic to their life that it was equivalent to a nuclear bomb in war. Like he had ICBMs pointed at all of the most powerful people in the world, or not, I don't know about all, but a lot, right? Because I don't care how much money you have. You can't buy your way out of fucking a kid, dude. Like there's no, you can't donate $2 billion to the Save the Kids Foundation if there's a videotape of you smashing a 12-year-old, dude. Like that's a wrap for you. You're fucking done. Your money won't be worth anything to you, even if you avoid jail. And so what would you do to avoid that video coming out? Anything is the answer to that question. Fucking anything. And so what Jeffrey Epstein did is he dealt in control. That's what his business was control of the most powerful people in the world. Because human beings are very predictable, dude. Like extraordinarily predictable. And human beings on the male side of the equation have the same weakness always. All of them. Regardless if they like dudes, they like girls. Okay. all of them are walking, sex bots. They're like, ooh, everything they look at that's their flavor. They're like, God damn, what would be better than what I'm doing right now is having sex with that thing right there. And so it's a weakness that you can exploit and use against them. And you put things in front of them that they're not allowed to do. And maybe they don't know that. Maybe they're unclear. Maybe that thing looks like it's 19 when it's 14. Maybe that thing looks like it's 21 when it's 15. And the place that you're at, which looks like this, we're on the island, we're having a good time. This is the most elaborate honey trap ever. You do anything. This island looks like it's so remote. There's fucking nothing here. There's nothing. There's no rules. There is nothing here. You're on an island. There's no law enforcement. There is nothing except you and the people. Isn't it amazing? Look at how isolated we are. Again, God, everybody needs to get their own island, huh? You can do whatever you want. It's like, yeah, I know. And look at all these girls. Look at all these ladies. No rules here. You create an environment of no rules. And then you put the bait in front of them and you let these dumb fucks fall into the trap every fucking time. Because here's the other thing. Like, if you think you have to be a word that starts with a P and ends with a file to fall for a Jeffrey Epstein trap, you're out of your fucking mind. Okay. Like if anybody what, I will demonstrate the point that I'm making right now. So I don't know if all of you know who this is, but hang on. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys a picture and you guys tell me if you know who this person is. God damn it. Okay. Jesus. How many people know who that is? Anybody? Okay. So that girl, her name's Angie Verona. Okay. She's a big social influencer now. Okay. But the way she got famous was she had like a photo bucket account, which was just one of those really early cloud storage accounts, right? And someone hacked it and then they released her pictures. And they're just like her looking like that, in a bathing suit, yada, 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 like that. And the reason it went viral is because she's 15. Okay. This is a 15-year-old. Okay. That girl's 15. And so it went totally viral. Like, because everyone was like, because people, like, the way I found out about her is my buddy sent me 2 of her pictures. He was like, look at this chick. And I was like, oh my God. He's like, dude, what would you do to that, bro? It's, some stupid shit. And he's like, hey, she's 15. It's like a joke you'd play on your friends. You get them to say some fucking ridiculous shit because pretty objective that she looks like an enticing sexual target for a dude with and then you're like, hey, she's 15. How do you feel now? How you feel now? So you're on Epstein Island. There's no rules. This thing is running around in a G-string and a bathing suit, and she's literally there specifically to trap you into sleeping with her. Okay. That's why they all fall for it. That's why they all fell for it. And like, you think the world's going to care? Like, you're a billionaire. It's like, hey, look at this video. Look at this video of this guy. He's got a belt around her neck. He's strangling her from behind. That's a 15-year-old right there. Look at this fat, sloppy, disgusting, sweaty billionaire who is roughly putting himself on a 15-year-old. How do you think that's going to fare in your future? You guys, look at the pictures of her. How was I supposed to know she's 15? Your fucking life is over, dude. Your life's over, billionaire. You're done. So when Epstein is like, beep, boop, boop, boop. Hey, Charles. Yeah, long time no talk. Yeah, I got the wire. I got the wire that you sent. Make sure you're not late next month. So what we're going to need something from you. The CEO of that company you invested in, I need you to tell him that we need the plans for that next product line. You're going to do it, right? I mean, they'll do anything. They'll do fucking anything. Jeffrey Epstein had a photograph, or I'm sorry, had a painting of Bill Clinton in the Monica Lewinsky dress in his house. That's 100% true. I'll show you guys. This is the craziest thing ever. Like this painting was pulled out of Jeffrey Epstein's house. Now let's see how smart you guys are. Okay. Okay, that's an actual painting that was pulled out of Jeffrey Epstein's house. That's Bill Clinton in the blue dress, the notorious blue dress from the Monica Lewinsky case. And if you're not clear on what that is because you guys are young, when the Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky thing happened, which might be before you guys' time, Bill Clinton was the president. Scandal that he had an affair with a 22-year-old intern named Monica Lewinsky. The proof ended up being that he had finished on a blue dress of hers, and she kept it, didn't wash it, kept it. Okay, so the damning incriminating evidence after he had lied a million times about whether it was true was a mayonnaise stain on a blue dress that she had kept. Okay. Now she was lying too, but she had gotten caught talking about it on tape. So the blue dress was the incriminating evidence. And Jeffrey Epstein in his fucking house. Okay. Bill Clinton had flown on that plane 37 times. Okay. Like they checked the call logs. He lied, but the call logs, very crystal clear. Bill Clinton had flown on Jeffrey Epstein's plane with him 37 times. Okay. And Epstein has a painting in his house of Clinton in the blue dress. What do you think that means? Okay. If you can't figure that out, then this is probably all over your head. Okay. That is an enormous painting saying, I've got Bill Clinton by the fucking balls. So by the balls that I'm going to make a painting about it and look at it every day because it's hilarious. So that's who Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, dude, Bill Gates is no longer married to his wife because he got exposed as being, with Epstein. So, I mean, like every single powerful person that you could think of had some kind of connection to Jeffrey Epstein. He was because he would just use the leverage he had to get into all these other circles because they'll do whatever he asks them to. Like there's no one saying no to him. They can't. There was a guy whose last name is Black. He's a billionaire. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people speculate that Epstein was with foreign intelligence, but that's not necessarily for sure. He might have just been in the influence business because I'm going to tell you right now, unless my understanding of how the world works is wrong, which is fucking impossible. Okay. Impossible. Jeffrey Epstein, you might have been looking at one of the most powerful people in the world. Literally. Tip top most powerful people in the world. Because what equals power is your ability to get people to do what you want. And the people that he controlled are the most powerful people in the world. Okay. Like if you can't put that together, then I don't know what, but there's all these questions about where his money was coming from. That's why maybe Mossad, because he was living like a person who had $20 billion and no one could trace that money. Anyway, so here's the deal. Like, if that's what his business is, right? If what he does is blackmail the most powerful people in the world, do you guys know what a dead man switch is? Or a dead man's trigger, dead man switch? If you're a person who blackmails people, the people that you blackmail are dangerous, especially in this case. He's literally blackmailing the most dangerous people in the world. And so the only way you can do that is you have a dead man switch, which means if anything happens to me, everything gets released. He destroys everyone, right? Like it's the fucking nuclear bomb to end the world. If I get killed, all this comes out. And so what happens is he turns all these people into his savior and protector. because he has a dead man switch. If something happens to him, all of it gets released, every single thing. And you couldn't operate without that if you're him. And so that's why I'm always like, okay, so he's in jail and then he gets murdered. How about the only way that's true? The only way that's true is if the people got a hold of his material and they knew somehow that all the copies were it. Like they would have had to have gotten a hold of whoever his external partner was, because you would need an external partner to be able to implement that in the event that you needed it. And they like tortured them into giving it all up. And they had to know for sure that they had all of it, then they can whack him out. But if not, there's no way. All he has to do is he's like, well, so you guys have a week. You know, I can manage here for a week. If with this, the trigger's already set. If I'm not out of here in a week, everything gets released. Go look at the. I apologize. There's a fucking gardener in my yard, but go look at the pictures of Jeffrey Epstein's corpse, his ear versus Jeffrey Epstein's ear from photographs in his real life. It's not the same person, dude. Glenn Bauer, thank you very much, sir. Bill Gates announces investment into smallpox vaccine, which hasn't been seen in over 40 years. 2 weeks later, smallpox shows up in a Philly lab. That did happen. I appreciate the super chat. I'm going to avoid that particular topic because me and YouTube have a pretty clear understanding about what I can talk about and how I can talk about it and what I can't. And that is treading dangerous right there. But also, I don't have any information on that whatsoever, ever, other than to say coincidences around that guy are concerning. But yeah, so I set up, and it's like, I think it's highly likely that Epstein had a way to get out. But at the same time, all it takes is one really powerful person to say, fuck it, let's just do this guy. And then you could get it done. So who knows? But the thing that I read recently was that, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. Oh my God, I'm such a fucking idiot. Jesus. Okay, so the thing that I just read this week was that Epstein throughout the whole week had been telling all the guards, I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal, saying I'm not going to kill myself. And I read that and I'm like, damn, dude, maybe he did get whacked out, you know, like maybe someone did clip him. And I just was superficially looking at it. I didn't even think, dude, the fucking Ghislaine Maxwell trial is going on right now. Because my theory has always been, okay, if he walked out free, then it's genius to do what they did around his death, right? His death is make it super suspicious so that all the, you know, the conspiracy people, the people who are like, what? They'll make it all about, he didn't kill himself, he got murdered. He didn't kill himself, he got murdered. And they're like, yeah, look over here. Hey, conspiracy theorist, you know, really, really predictable people. Look over here. Like, try to prove he got murdered instead of, you know, killing himself. That's what you should focus your energy on. Proving that he killed him, that he actually got murdered instead of killing himself. Just don't even consider the fact that maybe he walked out the fucking front door, right? So again, if you ever, you know, if something I'm working on ever hits big, you should be on the lookout for me implementing very sinister strategies. Or if the UFC ever hires me and is like, hey, Jesse, let's give this a year. Go ahead and implement the things that you're talking about. Go ahead. Like, you have free reign, work with the fighters, you know, create engagement, create stories that people will tie themselves to without realizing that they're stories. And a year later, you'll be like, fuck, man, the UFC, dude, don't you guys feel like the shit's just off the hook in the UFC? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because I like I said in my video, like me and Gabrielle, we faked it in our reality show. And so I've been thinking about how you juke things and trick people through television for 13 years. But yeah. So a lot of you probably got a lot of me here today because I've been on for almost an hour and a half. But I'm telling you, I'm posting right now. I'm posting an updated video about the Dustin and Conor beef that I'm going to call. I'm going to call the Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor blood feud explained. I'm telling you right now. I know I've said this in the past. Like, you know, this is one of the best videos. I'm telling you, this legit might be the best video I've ever done about the fight business ever. Like when I was doing it, I was just like, because here's exactly what happened. I did that video 2 days ago about Dustin and like how Dustin answered that question in the interview, right? Like about, you know, hey, Conor says this beef is still hot and the trilogy's not over. Wendy, you and your girl, you are a girl, according to your name. Thank you. But and how Dustin just completely dismissed the question where he was like, no, he's like, Conor's not even on my radar. And I like blew up and like ranted about how huge a catastrophic misstep that was. And so my video about it was literally just like a rant, like where it was like, what the fuck are you doing? And like, this is what you should have said. And from the comment section, because this is one of those things, like a lot of the stuff that I talk about is just straight up opinion. Like, it's like, I think blah, blah, blah. And then there are certain things where it's like, no, this is just correct and fucking incorrect. And I'm telling you, the thing that I'm talking about with Dustin and Conor, there is no room for interpretation about whether I'm right or wrong. It's fucking not. There is no conversation to be had. But I realized I didn't set the table in that video and really explain the point that I'm making well at all. Like to where I just took for granted that everybody kind of sees it the way that I do. And so in this video, I broke it down surgically and I watched it. I was like, fuck me. This is the best move. This is the best video I've ever done about the fight business. Because I was A, mad, and B, thinking very clearly and like knew exactly the points that I wanted to make. It's fucking solid. You guys should definitely watch it. I was very, very proud of it. It'll go up like, yeah, but Love for Music, this particular one, the Dustin and Conor one, and I don't want to step on my video. And I go into very, very specific detail about this. This, if played correctly, right? If played correctly, if it was like, here, like, Jesse, Dustin is not allowed to even talk about Conor in any capacity without you saying exactly what he's going to say. And it doesn't even need to be long. Like, I know he doesn't love all that stuff, like simple things. I'm telling you right now, I could have made that into the biggest fight in UFC history. I will fucking stake my life on that, except for maybe Conor and Khabib, maybe. But I could, like, this had potential to be the biggest fight ever, if played correctly. But again, I go into that in detail, and I'm telling you right now, if you doubt that now, watch that video, and I promise you won't. Conor threatens the family of everybody he fights. I'm glad you said that. Totally fucking irrelevant. Totally fucking irrelevant. Biden is old enough to be everyone's daddy on earth. Small pops. You can email me, realjesseonfire@gmail.com. Dustin or Conor doesn't decide who they fight. Dana stated that. Oh, God. You know what? I didn't directly address that in the video, so I will address that now. If you really believe that, like that the fighters have no impact on who they fight, you completely do not understand this business. You're right in certain cases. If two fighters create a blood feud, they fight. Okay. Dana puts the biggest fights together. Okay. So like if two guys that don't matter, you know, hey, I want to fight that guy. Dana's like, I don't give a shit who you want to fight. Like, you got, he's an 8th, you're 2nd. The fight makes no sense. You're not fighting. Okay. What I'm talking, like Colby and Masvidal want to fight, they're going to fucking fight. Okay. And they created that, right? Like they created that. Two guys have a beef like that, they fight. It's that simple. There's no middle ground on this. Like, there's no like, if Dustin makes it, again, 100% Dustin can decide if he wants to fight Conor. That's just not even fucking remotely true. Oliveira taps Dustin. Tell me I'm wrong. I do think you're wrong, actually. I do. Oh, well, Small Pops, email me again today, or just forward the other one and I'll look. This channel is not going to get nuked. I know exactly what I can say and what I can't. I have a good relationship with these guys. But no, I'm not on Adderall at all. I'm fucking exhausted. But wait, what was I talking about a second ago? If I was on Adderall, I'd fucking remember. Oh, yeah. Oliveira tapping Dustin. No, I don't think he's going to. Because in order to tap Dustin, he has to get him to the ground, right? Like for you know, like the reason why Dustin, you know, got strangled by Khabib is because Khabib is an exceptional wrestler. Charles Oliveira is an exceptional jiu-jitsu practitioner. Not the same thing. Not the same thing. Dude, there are very few things that I fucking hate more than garden tools outside my window. I can't fucking stand it. Like hurry the fuck up, dude. Jesus. Today is golf day, actually. That is an excellent fucking point, actually. So yeah, maybe I will be on Adderall later. Who knows? That's a great fucking call, man. Yeah, what the hell was I doing? What was I going to do with myself today? Cry about it. Those are hardworking men. Yeah, obviously, dude. Diego got the jab in August. No, he didn't, did he? Thank you, Ian. Wait, are you sure? Where are you getting that information from, Joe? I thought that he had very much not gotten it. Yes, of course I know that, Crazy Limbs. Hang on. No, no. That's not true because, like, speaking of which, I forgot to light these fucking guys up. I forgot to light them up. So check this out. So bloody elbow. So Diego, listen to this shit, actually. So bloody elbow, right? Diego Sanchez in the hospital, pneumonia, blood clots, super, super serious case of COVID, right? Bloody elbow runs an article on it. What's their headline? I'll fucking copy and paste it right now in the chat. Watch this. Look at this shit. I'm going to paste it right now. This is their copy and pasted headline. They put, that's their fucking headline. These snarky cocksuckers. Not Diego Sanchez. Like they couldn't even get through the fucking headline without putting some snarky shit about his status in there. Diego Sanchez hospitalized, still not, quote, sold on getting COVID vaccine despite blood clots and pneumonia. Fuck you, bloody elbow. Fuck you. Okay? How about you just wish him well and you could talk about his status after he recovers? Fucking self-righteous pieces of shit. Same fucking outlet that employs that garbage pail kid, fucking Trent whatever, that wrote the smear piece on fucking Rogan. Fuck bloody elbow. As a matter of fact, actually, I'm going to just objectively say this. Fuck bloody elbow. Like, don't frequent their site. Don't support their people. Fuck them, dude. That's a bridge too far. I forgot that Trent was bloody elbow also. Fuck these guys. Guys fucking in the hospital with blood clots, still not sold. Like, you're talking shit about him? You're talking fucking shit about a guy who's like fighting for his life in the hospital? You know what? That's the fucking video I'm going to do right now. All right, I'm going to sign off and I'm going to actually record a video about Bloody Elbow and I'm going to fucking shit down their fucking throat right now. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to do something I've never done before. I am going to let you guys watch me record this and then I'll upload it afterwards. Look at that. I've never done this before. This is probably a bad idea actually, because then you guys won't watch the actual video, but I'm going to do it anyway. Am I going to do that? All right. You guys want me to do it? I'll do it. That shit is fucking unreal, dude. All right. All right, let's do this thing. Let's do it. All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. So I've got a live audience here. I've never done this before. I'm recording this video with a live audience. And we're going to do that because we're going to talk about Bloody Elbow, which as of this moment is an outlet that I am saying that you should never frequent ever. Like you read an article, you know, you Google something you heard about on you know, like whatever about a fighter. And it's like, oh, I got to go read about that. Oh, who wrote that? Bloody Elbow? Maybe not. You know, maybe I'll read that somewhere else and I'll tell you exactly why. So in case you guys are, not up to speed on the Diego Sanchez situation, Diego Sanchez is in the hospital fighting for his life with the virus. He has pneumonia, blood clots in his legs, really serious. I'm actually still on a live stream where I was talking about it. And I was looking up information about it. And I come across this article from Bloody Elbow. And I'm going to read you guys the headline of this article that Bloody Elbow, an MMA like journalistic outlet, wrote about Diego Sanchez, one of the all-time greats, a Hall of Fame UFC fighter who's fighting for his life in the hospital right now. Okay, this is their headline: Diego Sanchez hospitalized, comma, still not sold on getting COVID vaccine despite blood clots and pneumonia. Okay, so again, Diego Sanchez hospitalized, still not sold on getting COVID vaccine despite blood clots and pneumonia. Okay. So this is not like the second or third article they've written about this. So here's what's happening. Diego Sanchez is in the hospital fighting for his life. And their headline, okay, their headline is they're talking shit about him. Like their headline is they're talking shit about Diego Sanchez. They're being snarky about the fact that he is skeptical of the jab. Okay, this has nothing to do with getting it, not getting it, whatever. It's irrelevant. The guy is in the hospital fighting for his life, and that's their contribution to the conversation. The fucking headline. He's still not sold. What an idiot. Can you believe this guy? He's in the hospital with pneumonia and pneumonia and blood clots, probably gonna have a heart attack, and he's still not sold on the vaccine. What a moron. Can you get a load of this guy? Fuck these guys. Okay. Literally, fuck these guys. Never read their shit again. I won't. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I'll never read their shit again. Okay. Unless that guy, Trent Rainsmith, that wrote the thing about Joe Rogan, writes something and I want to read that so that I can, stick my hand up his ass again and fucking throw him out my window. But yeah, I'm done with Bloody Elbow. This is a bridge too far. Like the Trent Rainsmith thing, which also was related to the jab. So who knows who owns Bloody Elbow? Because, that was right after Joe Rogan had said, yeah, I got COVID and I'm better now because I took ivermectin and whatever. And they're like, geez, we got to get this guy out of here. Well, let's put this guy who has 6 followers on Twitter and let's have him do a big smear piece. Go get him, Trent. You're our number one guy. You're our number one smear piece guy. Maybe this time 11 people will read it, Like, let's see if you can break into double digits, dude. And so that, I obviously eviscerated him in the video about that, but this is a different thing. Like, how about you fucking root for the guy to get better? How about you root for a Hall? You are a fucking MMA outlet, dude. You're an MMA outlet. There's no like second answer. There's a correct answer and a fucking incorrect answer. The correct answer is you root for Diego to get better. And then if you want to fucking talk about whatever later, about whether he's sold on the jab or not, go ahead and do that later. Right now, while this is the first thing that you're commenting on, the first reporting on him being in the hospital, pneumonia and blood clots, your fucking headline is talking shit about him and his decision process. Okay? And anybody who doesn't like this, you should share this fucking video too. Okay? Because this has nothing to do with jab tests. I'm not supporting people who don't get it or people who do get it is irrelevant. I'm talking about like common decency among human beings, and especially a journalistic outlet that is supposed to be about UFC. Essentially, I shouldn't even have to fucking explain this. Fuck these guys. Okay. That's my video. Fuck Bloody Elbow. Don't frequent their outlet. Hey, guy, hey, Bloody Elbow, you want to put me on your podcast? Fuck you. I'll never work for you guys, ever. You can beg and plead, but I won't, because you guys are trash. You guys have bad character. Like, I can be a prick, but I generally try to be a prick for the right reasons. Okay. This is like Anton Tubuena. This is like what a bad person does. This is what a bad person does. You're rooting for him you're rooting for him to not get better. Or at the very least, you want to use this moment to shame him. Fuck you. Okay? Fuck you. Anyway, that's what I've got. So I just did another video about Dustin Poirier and Conor that I highly suggest you guys watch. My best video ever this week. So yeah, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Peace. Yep, that's how we do it, dude. Just one take. Done and done. Joel Cooter, yeah, you should have the same opinion on this, because your opinion has nothing to do with the jab, dude. Like, your opinion is disconnected from the jab. It's about common decency, dude. If a guy is in the hospital fighting for his life, then what you do is you don't take that moment to shit on him, especially if he's a Hall of Fame fighter who obviously is not a thought leader on anything, dude. Like, that's the other thing. Fuck, maybe I should re-record that. I kind of want to re-record that to make that point. I'm going to re-record that after this, because that's another point, dude. It's like, it's one thing when it's Joe Rogan and these guys are like, like Joe Rogan is a thought leader, right? So it's like important for them to try to discredit his opinions. Oh, wait, let me catch up on these. Shotgun Yoda, thank you very much. DW, thank you very much. Like, it's important for them to try to discredit his opinions, right? And so, but Diego Sanchez, he's not a thought leader. Hang on, Joel. Wait. They just stated the facts. Hold on. You're right. They did. Right. So like, if my headline was Joel Cooter has a 6mm dick, would that be the most important thing for me to point out about you if I was going to do a headline about your life? Okay. Like, you can choose what facts you headline your fucking article with, right? Like, I could either go with Joel Cooter is a married father of 3 who has a great job and, loves his kids. Or I could go, everybody's been wondering how Joel Cooter got his wife pregnant because his dick is so fucking small. Like, one of those is super disrespectful, and the other one is, just stating facts. Both are facts. Jesus. Exactly. Yeah. UFC Hall of Famer Diego Sanchez fighting for his life, COVID pneumonia or whatever. I mean, like, that's a fact, right? That's a fact. It's fucking ancillary and stupid. That, like, the smallest, yeah, of course. Check Bloody Elbow's tweet. Okay, I'm going to end up having to fucking re-record this video. God damn, dude, get the fuck out of my yard. Like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck are these guys doing? This is abnormal. This shit does not go on this long normally. Like, I don't even know if these are fucking landscapers. I think these is like my new next door neighbors just doing this to fucking piss me off. I'm going to literally walk outside and fucking take whatever tool that is. I'm going to fucking smash it in my street. Jesus. Okay, let's see. I'm going to have to re-record that video anyway because that shit's in the fucking background. Okay, bloody elbow tweet. Yep, exact same thing. Fuck these guys, dude. Anton Tabunya. Let me look at this fucking idiot. Oh, yeah. Hey, winner, chicken dinner. Unreal, dude. Unreal. I know, dude, that the thing about him getting the, because Regeneron is monoclonal antibodies, right? That is fucking concerning, dude. Because everyone that I know who has gotten the monoclonals has gotten better 24 hours. Brandon, I know, dude. I would, but like, I don't think anybody could soundproof this fucking shit. I'm upstairs. I'm on the second story too. Like, they're not even like right outside my window. Okay, hang on. Regeneron antibody treatment. Yeah, that's fucking monoclonals, dude. Damn. That's fucking crazy, man. That's really concerning. Fuck me, dude. Oops. Dude, it's one of those things where you're like, if you're concerned about no, he's definitely King Wayne. He's not 100%. He's not. But yeah, you are very welcome, Joel. Thanks for being a good sport, my friend. Whoa. But yeah, dude. I am staunchly against mandates. Ridiculous. Absolutely passionately against mandates. But the reason is, I mean, would be like, you know, what's funny is like most people are like, I mean, there's a philosophical reason I'm against them in general, because I just don't believe that the government should be mandating almost anything like that. Like, it's certainly not any kind of medical anything. But in our case, the reason we live in Texas, the entire reason we live in Texas is because my oldest daughter got injured by a vaccine. Like, she got vaccine injured. And then so we in California went to a doctor. We went through this super arduous, long process of genetic mapping and all this stuff between my wife and myself. They did it for both our parents, went through our entire vaccine history, both me and Gabrielle. And it turns out on both sides of the family, my mom stopped me midway through when I was getting them when I was young, because I was having these insane reactions. And Gabrielle, same thing. And so the doctors in California were like, look, the reason that these are mandated is to protect people who are, likely to get injured from vaccines, or they have some kind of whatever. So you have a medical exemption. So our kids got medical exemptions, because they were like, it's too dangerous for your kids. Like not everybody, but our kids. Right. And then California became the only state in the history of the country where they just went like this. Well, we're going to go ahead. We're just going to invalidate medical exemptions. Doesn't matter if you have a medical exemption, you still have to get it. And we were like, wait, what? They're like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Your doctor is not a state doctor, so that medical exemption is no good anymore. So your kids have to get them. We were like, oh, all right, well, how about no? We're going to move to Texas. So we moved to Texas because that's fucking insane. They put us in a position where we had to either, give a procedure to our kids that a doctor said was not safe. Brad, thank you very much. Or move away from my entire family. So fuck California and fuck mandates. But this ended up being the best thing ever. So it's all good. That's the thing, Thomas. That's the thing that infuriates me more than anything in the world is when they call people anti-vax. They call Joe Rogan anti-vax. Ridiculous. They call DeSantis anti-vax. Ridiculous. DeSantis is vaccinated. And he's said you should all go get vaccinated. Joe Rogan has never said he's anti-vax, ever. Some people might be, but these people they say it about are not. I'm not anti-vax. Every single person in my family is vaccinated, like my mom, my dad, my brother, my brother's kids, my brother's wife, all of them, every single one of them. You think that I was calling them like, don't do it, dude. Don't do it, dude. You're going to blah. I don't fucking tell anybody what to do. I just don't believe that anyone should be able to tell anyone what they can do, what they have to do. And you certainly shouldn't be able to fucking fire anyone for any reason. You shouldn't be able to tell someone that they have to shut down their business. You're like, listen, man, I hear what you're saying, but I own a barbershop. And if I can't open, I can't pay my mortgage. I can't afford food for my kids, dude. I haven't worked in 5 months. I have to open my business. No, you can't. Why? Because you can't, because we said you can't. And if you do, we'll come and we'll lock your doors. We'll send a law enforcement agent there. We'll lock your doors. And you're like, what am I supposed to do? I can't, you're not giving me money. You're not giving me anything. You're just taking away my ability to earn a living. We are going to lose our home. We've lived there for 20 years. We're losing everything. What am I supposed to do? Not our problem. You can't open. Fuck that, dude. Anybody who's down with that is a fucking moron. Like you just haven't thought it through. You're not humanizing these things. There's no person who actually knows a person who is in that situation who's like, no, I think that's the right thing. That's the right thing. You're like, no, it's not, dude. No, it's not. And, and then, so it's like, so there's that. Yeah, you can't open. And then they're like, well, and also now if you don't do this, we'll fire you. And you're like, well, how am I supposed to pay for my life? That's not our problem. It's just that if you want to pay for your life, you have to do this. It's like, well, but I don't want that. We don't care. We don't care. Glenn Bauer, thank you very much. JM, you're welcome, my friend. Sure, but it's stupid not to get vaccinated. Jesse, are you an anti-vaxxer, bro? Jesus Christ. I hope that's a fucking joke. Or did you just get on here 1 second ago? Wait, how are we threatening people's jobs over vaccine mandates? Is that a joke? Is that a fucking joke? Tell me that's a fucking joke. You mean aside from the 70,000 healthcare workers that they fired in New York because they wouldn't get the jab? I would say that's a pretty big fucking threat to people's jobs. Yeah, there you go. Daniel Day, no, I recently got poked because I was going to lose my job since my bosses mandated it. Then 2 weeks later, DeSantis passed the new policy and my bosses had to change their mind. Yeah, I don't care if I'm flagged because I'm not saying anything that they believe me. I had this conversation with Google. I believe me. I know what I can say and I can't. I got in trouble I've gotten in trouble one time with YouTube, and it was a stupid decision on my part. I was mad, and I put a video up that I should have known. I should have known. It was dumb. But this conversation, this is not. You're not what you can't do on YouTube is you cannot make statements. What's the thing? Like, you can't make statements that you can't defend, but also like if you are like inciting things, where you're like, I actually shouldn't even talk about it. I know what I can say and I know what I can't. Like, believe me, I have my videos manually reviewed a lot, and then I talk to them. We're good, dude. Especially because I'm definitely not telling people not to get the jab at all. At all. I would encourage everyone to get it if they think it's safe for them. The only reason to not do it is if you have a reason that you think it's unsafe for you. But, I mean, oh, I got you, Josh. Yeah, of course we should not. Of course not. It's like, it's bananas. Like, yeah, but Crowder pushes the envelope a lot, dude. Crowder, like, he's, to be perfectly honest, I don't love his shit, dude. Like, I have very rarely been able to like sit through, I don't know, 15 straight minutes of the Crowder show. Like, it's just like, I don't know. It's too predictable. And I take that back. I'll tell you what I do like that he does. What I do like that he does is I like when he goes on campus and he does the like, gun rights or blah, 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 change my mind. That I like. And he has a conversation with people and he stays calm. That I really like. But him in the studio with his guys, it's like, I don't know. They like I'm not surprised that they get banged by YouTube at all. But those guys are gone now, dude. Exactly. It's too partisan. I agree. And like, RA, thank you very much, dude. That is very generous. Much appreciated. Seriously, thank you. But like, I listen to Ben Shapiro all the time. Like my main two YouTube people that, well, actually I listen to Ben Shapiro. I subscribe to the Daily Wire, but like the main two sources of information that I listen to are on exactly polar opposite sides of the fence. Like, I listen to Ben Shapiro and I listen to Jimmy Dore. And I mean, like their politics could not be further from each other. Like they have nothing. They don't agree on fucking anything. Like, they agree on nothing. And I listen to those two because what I'm looking for, like I take for granted that there are a lot of people that are smarter than me, dude. Like, that are smarter than me, who are more well-informed. But in addition to that, what I care about is I care that a person has principles. I don't like people that are kind of flowing with the wind and that's what I'm talking about. Like, when people are sharing memes of Rittenhouse, where I'm like, dude, he's not a meme, man. Like, even if you're on the side that you were hoping he got acquitted, like, he's not a fucking meme. He's a real person. And I don't like when people fucking cheapen that stuff. It's like, and like Jimmy Dore has principles that he believes in, and I respect that. And then Shapiro has staunch principles. I don't agree with both of them. I mean, that would be impossible for me to agree with both of them. Like, fundamentally impossible. I just think they're both really smart, and both of them hate that. Like, there's only a small group of people that I absolutely fundamentally disdain and don't trust, and both of them disdain and don't trust the same people. And so I like that. It's like, people's opinion of Ben Shapiro to me is crazy. Like, people on the left, it's crazy. Like, because they're like, anyone who actually sat and listened to him talk for 30 straight minutes, right? Like, it was like, look, I know you think that he's a whatever you've been told. Like, but right now you're going to listen to him for 30 minutes. Like, I really don't think that there's anyone who would have a bad impression of him. Like, he's like polite. He's super polite. He's super well-spoken. His opinions are incredibly well-researched. And he's really, really smart, like really smart. He's smart. I know he's smarter than I am. That's why I like listening to him. But like, wait a minute. Someone is commenting, this is how you talk shit. Oh, never mind. He was complimenting me. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's like I'm not at a loss for knowing what people on the left and like the far left think of everything, because I have a real big extended family, cousins, aunts, uncles, etc. You know, myself, my wife, my uncle, his wife also live in Texas. We are very aligned, like politically. I consider myself an independent, and then everyone else in our entire family is like over there. And like whenever I ever talked about Ben Shapiro, it's hilarious. Like their faces, they act like I just brought up like David Duke or something. I'm like, have you guys actually ever listened to anything he said? And you can just tell they haven't. Like they get, you know, they've seen tweets about he's a transphobic, racist Nazi. You're like, he's an Orthodox Jew. Like, what are you talking about, dude? He's the opposite of a Nazi. It's just ridiculous, man. Glenn, thank you very much. People shouldn't be against the vaccine. They should be against forcing it on others by taking away their freedoms. We have to stand against it. I completely agree with that. Derek Davis, thank you very much, dude. That is very generous. I appreciate it. Jesse, I just found your channel 2 days ago. Your passion is inspirational. It's given me an incredible, strong urge to get more out of myself. Thank you. You are very welcome, sir. And you should. You look like a talented guy from your profile picture. That is, I mean, I don't know a lot about you, but that profile picture is the picture of a person who picked that intentionally, and that's a solid picture. What are you trying to do? Like, what's your goal? I can tell you this. I mean, if we're looking for wisdom out of get more out of yourself, this is what I've got. There are no shortcuts, like, because I am the fucking king of shortcuts, man. Like, or trying to find shortcuts. And when you like, if you're gonna build something like real, I swear, dude, it's like the only thing is just consistency, like belief in your end game, and then consistency. Like, you know, I mean, there's just nothing that replaces that in my experience. But if you're confident in the thing that you're doing, you just do it. You just do it and 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 do it. Like this channel, it blew up in May. It blew up in May with the first video that blew up was a Diego and Fabia video, where like the most views I had ever gotten on a video. Like my videos were very consistently getting between 1,000 and 3,000 views. And then every once in a while I'd have like a breakout video that would do like 10 to 15 maybe. And that was rare. And then I did one that it was right after something weird with Fabia and Diego happened. And I did one that was like the truth about Diego and Josh Fabia's relationship. And that shit blew up. We got like 100, I don't know, first six-figure 1,000 views. 6-figure 1,000. What the fuck am I talking about? First 6-figure views. And then that was right when all the shit with Fabia kind of came out. And I just kept going with the Fabia stuff. And it was just, I just caught this like Fabia wave. And then I rode that. But when that happened, I had done, between my two channels, I had done 511 videos in a year. So in 1 year, I had done 511 videos. And then it hit. And it's like, I mean, there's no other way to describe it. That's just grind right there. Just persistence. And I did all that like with a full-time job. I have to, you know, the pandemic, in terms of our life, we actually got a lot of benefit from it, because by working at home, I was able to do that. And then also I was able to take Giselle to jiu-jitsu every single day, 6 days a week, 2 hours a day. And now my daughter's a fucking jiu-jitsu champion. You know, Like we got incredibly lucky with what school she was at, which is a Cesar Gracie school, and with the coach there is, I will literally put Cameron King up against any other coach in the fucking world as it relates to coaching kids. He's got like 15 kid world champions, that 15 kids under him that have won worlds. Like it's not an accident. He's amazing. I'm trying to convince him to come out here, and I told him I would invest in a Caesar franchise that he was going to run. And that's, I mean, A, selfish because I just want to hang out with him, but B, I think Giselle, I mean, if she was under him permanently, I can't even imagine how good she'd be. But that was because of the pandemic, like because we were at home, and so I could take her every day. But just like that, she trained 6 days a week, 2 hours a day, every day. And now she's a champion and a badass. You train with Renzo. So Cameron King that I was just talking about, he's getting his black belt on the 4th. It's a Caesar black belt. Okay, like Caesar is notorious for it taking a long time to belt up. Like there was a guy at his school that won worlds 3 straight years at purple belt before he belted him up at to brown belt. And I think he had to threaten to leave before they did. The guy was a Navy SEAL too. He's actually the one that brought me there in the first place. But Cam is getting his black belt on December 4th at a seminar that Renzo is going to be at. Renzo and Caesar are there, and then they're going to give Cameron his black belt. So he was supposed to get it last week, and then they pushed it back to December 4th, I think, because Renzo's going to be there. He's so fucking stoked. Wait, MMA girly, hang on. I'm not sure we're all colorblind here. Oh man, this is a conversation that I want to understand the context of. Russell Brand has been my left-wing person whose opinion I trust. He's awesome. Yeah, he has done a 180-degree switch, just like Jimmy Dore. And that's where I'm at, dude. That's where I'm at. I voted for Obama twice. I wouldn't vote for a Democrat now if someone like strapped my hand to the table. Like, I mean, and it doesn't mean that I wouldn't ever, but right now they support everything that I completely disagree. I mean, like completely, like stuff that's actually affected my own life. Like, there's no, if it's like, well, why do you support this party or that party? Okay, well, as an example, when we left California and they were talking about passing the thing that was going to invalidate medical exemptions, every single state Democrat, every single state senator that was a Democrat voted for it, and every single state senator that was a Republican voted against it. And they went up and they were like, you can't do this. Like, you cannot do this. And so with us, where this is like, if this goes the wrong way, we literally are going to have to leave our home. And then you see one side that's passionately arguing in your defense, and the other side that's like laughing and like acting like it's like a joke to them. You're like, oh, wait, which side are those motherfuckers on? Because fuck them, Dude, I do owe Fabio a fruit basket. Because you know who would live in that little fruit basket? That little guy. Oh, look at you, Josh Fabio. You look like a little banana that I dressed up in a shirt and shorts. Let me see you do a mad face. Let me see you do an angry face. Look at the little angry little banana. Look at you, Josh. Let me see. We are definitely not forgetting about Diego. This live stream has been going on for 2 hours. But yeah, if you're just hopping on, the main point that we're making here is Diego he's on Instagram. I would highly suggest that you guys go comment on his stuff, because he's definitely checking it, and send him his best, and keep the only thing that's not allowed is you can't talk trash to him about his jab status. And you're also never allowed to go to Bloody Elbow ever again. Fuck them. LeBron threw out a fan mocking his tears. I saw that. Fucking tattletale pussy. You are very welcome, Travis. I am a big fan of breaking people's balls. Like, I wish, honestly, I was thinking about doing another channel because, I really do think about, okay, so if I really at some point quit my job and did this full time, and the money is, I mean, that's, let me think about this right now. So I make, this shouldn't be this hard. I make 4 times as much money at my regular job than I do on YouTube currently. So like, it's obviously not a realistic thing. And I'm like, wait, is that right? Oh no, that's not right. It's much more than that. So it's more like, I don't know, whatever, but like a huge multiple more at my job, which is like, okay, so if I'm being responsible, obviously that's not really an option. Although I do have a project that's launching very soon that I will tell you about that have hung out this long. So put in the comments if you've ever heard me allude to a project that I'm doing with Navy SEALs before. Because I'm going to tell you what it is right now for the first time. Yes. Okay. So none of us have said anything about this publicly, but we're going to very soon. This is going to come out like very soon. But it doesn't really matter if like it's close enough that it actually doesn't really matter. I can talk about it at a high level. So I assume people are familiar. Geez, actually, maybe let me think about this. Fuck me. I don't see why this would be a bad thing. The only reason I'm hesitating is just because we want to make sure 1,000% that we're the first ones that do this. I don't think anyone could jump the line on us. So, fuck. I want to say it's so fucking bad, but how many guys are on here? Are Rob O'Neill, so the Navy SEAL from SEAL Team 6 that shot and killed bin Laden. Edward C. Byers, the Navy SEAL who is the only living Congressional Medal of Honor recipient. He's like my partner. Like we're like even, like business partners in this endeavor. Jeff Gum, also business partner, co-founder. He is a 10-year Navy SEAL who owns a company called Sunga Life. I think he's got like 100,000 followers on Instagram. You should follow him if you don't. He's awesome. Let me see how many. I can't remember if it's him that has the 100,000 or his business. Oh no, it's his business. He has 13,000. But Jeff Gum and then Sunga Life has like 100,000 or whatever. Yeah, Sunga Life has 100,000. So, by the way, you guys should go get these shorts, dude. Sunga Life, they're so sick. I have like 6 fucking. I'm definitely not asking for money. No, I have like 6 pairs of those. So Jeff Gum, then Darren McBurnett, who is on Instagram, is McTeams. So McTeams, this dude, you guys should go follow this dude too. So that one, McTeams, he's a 24-year Navy SEAL, SEAL team instructor, 1 million tours, and an artist. An incredible fucking photographer and artist. We have Ray Cash, too, is with us. And yeah, we're going to, I mean, fuck. We're probably going to announce inside 2 weeks, but I just don't want them to get mad at me. But it's going to be, I mean, believe me, you guys will fucking hear about it because I'll obviously put it on the channel, but all right. Well, here, like I'll just write it. So here. Teams, that's the Navy SEAL artist. Jeff Gum. You guys should go follow all these guys. Oops, I think I misspelled Rob O'Neill, but whatever. I'm really hoping that my regular job, once we launch this, is this. This is the startup that I've been working on with these guys for 7 months, 7 months. We're just about to announce. And then, but my regular job is I'm in technology. All right, 2 hours, 10 minutes. This has gone on long enough. I love you guys. Seriously, when I post this Dustin and Connor video, though, real talk, I know you guys have probably gotten a fucking lot of me today, but I promise you, watch that fucking video. Anyway, thank you guys. Thanks everybody for the support. And go give Diego support on his Instagram. Thanks, guys.